Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Bruh. Hold up. Hell no. Did he throw him at Shedeur? Bro. Him right here. Bruh. Do y'all see this? It looked like, hold on, bruh. Did he try to sack Shedeur too? Bruh. Why is he on top of Shedeur, bruh? Why is he on top of Shedeur, bruh? What the hell?
What you're about to witness isn't just another case of bad offensive line play in the NFL. This is something far more sinister. This is what thousands of fans, professional analysts, and even insiders are now calling deliberate sabotage. And it's all caught on camera. Shedeur Sanders, the Cleveland Browns rookie quarterback, just watched viral footage that has the entire NFL world in an uproar. The clip shows Cam Robinson, the Browns left tackle who's supposed to be protecting Shedeur's blind side, not only failing his assignment, but appearing to actively throw a defensive pass rusher directly onto Sanders while he's in the middle of making a throw. And what makes this even more disturbing? This is now the fourth or fifth consecutive week where Cleveland's offensive line has looked suspiciously incompetent when it comes to protecting their franchise quarterback. By the time you finish watching this, you're going to understand why this isn't just about missed blocks anymore. This is about a pattern of behavior that's starting to look coordinated. This is about a young quarterback fighting against his own team. And this is about footage so damning that even professional analysts are saying on live television, I could play better left tackle than him at this point. Let me take you inside what's really happening in Cleveland, because the truth is more shocking than anyone could have imagined. The footage starts like any other NFL snap. Shedeur Sanders takes the shotgun, surveys the defense, and prepares to execute the play. Cam Robinson is positioned at left tackle, responsible for protecting Shedeur's blind side. It's the most critical position on the offensive line. Your quarterback trusts you with his career, his health, his future. But watch what happens next. As the ball is snapped and Shedeur begins his drop back, a defensive end comes rushing around the edge. This is Cam Robinson's man. This is his one job: protect the quarterback. Make sure no...
That left tackle, oh my God.
Yeah.
If there's not a stunt where that D-line goes inside and there's nobody covering him, it's a beeline to Shedeur every time. It's like he's not even there. And I literally feel like I could play better left tackle than him at this point.
Look, I need you.
Nobody gets to him while he's going through his progressions and trying to make a throw downfield. But Robinson doesn't protect Shedeur. He doesn't even attempt to slow the defender down. Instead, in what can only be described as one of the most bizarre plays you'll ever see, Robinson appears to grab the pass rusher and redirect him, almost throwing him directly at Shedeur Sanders just as he's releasing the football. The defender crashes into Shedeur with full force. The quarterback goes down hard. The throw is disrupted. And standing right there, towering over Shedeur as he lies on the ground, is Cam Robinson, with body language that can only be described as theatrical. He's positioned like he's about to help Shedeur up, like he's concerned, like he's a teammate devastated by what just happened. But here's the problem. Cam Robinson is the reason Shedeur got destroyed in the first place. When this footage first dropped on social media, fans couldn't believe what they were seeing. The initial reactions were confusion. Did he just throw him at Shedeur? One viral tweet asked. Why is he standing over him like he helped him when he's the one who caused the sack? Another demanded to know. The clip was shared thousands of times within hours. It landed on NFL Twitter, on Instagram, on TikTok, on every sports platform imaginable, and the consensus was universal. This wasn't just bad offensive line play. This was something that looked intentional. The Arena Show, a popular sports analysis program, picked up the footage and brought it into their studio for a complete breakdown. And what their analysts said on live television sent shockwaves through the NFL community. That Cam Robinson at left tackle, oh my God, one analyst said, shaking his head in disbelief. If there's not a defensive stunt where that D-line goes inside and there's nobody covering him, it's a beeline to Shedeur every single time. It's like he's not even there, and I literally feel like I could play better left tackle than him at this point. A beeline to Shedeur every single time. Think about what that means. A professional sports analyst, someone who watches NFL film for a living, is telling a national audience that the Cleveland Browns starting left tackle is so ineffective at his job that it's as if the Browns are playing without a left tackle at all. And he's saying it with such conviction that he believes he personally could step onto an NFL field and perform better. That's not analysis. That's an indictment. But here's where this story gets even more disturbing. This viral moment with Cam Robinson isn't an isolated incident. It's not one bad play in an otherwise solid performance. It's not even one bad game in an...
Explain to me how Cam Robinson has a freaking job? Like, how is this exactly... like, what are we watching? How is this acceptable? Look at this dude. Look at this dude. What are you doing, brother? Like, you're a professional athlete. You getting buoyed on national television. We gotta be the only team that rewards ass. Because in no NFL world is that acceptable. Back to back week. Like, this is like, you already had 1 week of being on film. Now you putting the same exact thing on film the second week in a row. Like, why? What are we evaluating? How do we come out of these things and be like, yeah, you deserve to start this week? At this point, bring somebody else up. Like, there can't be anything worse right now. Like, at this point, pick someone up. Justin Pugh. I know you still blocking fans. At this point, come out of retirement and come block for the Browns, because it can't be much worse than what we watching, brother.
Shedeur, otherwise competent season. This is the 4th or 5th consecutive week where Cleveland's offensive line, and Cam Robinson specifically, has looked what fans are now calling real spooky when protecting Shedeur Sanders. Let me walk you through the evidence, because when you see the pattern, you can't unsee it. Film breakdown experts, including the popular Twitter account 1K Takes, have been dissecting Cam Robinson's performance play by play, and what they've discovered is absolutely damning. On running plays where Robinson is supposed to chip a defensive lineman and then get to the second level to block a linebacker, he's whiffing on both assignments. He misses the chip block completely, letting the first defender run free, and then he never makes it to the second level to pick up the linebacker. What should be 10 to 15-yard gains turn into 2-yard losses because Robinson failed to execute either part of his assignment. On pass protection plays, it gets even worse.
Anthony Bradford and Daniel Falele combined.
What?
That is number 68, Cam Robinson for the Cleveland Browns. If you ever have a problem with ghosts in your house, don't call the Ghostbusters. Just call Cam Robinson. This brother is literally blocking ghosts all game long. Who are you blocking?
Look at.
What? Right?
Bruh, I can't make this shit up. Look at this. Would somebody look at this?
Here on this play, the Browns are going to run a misdirection where 44 is going to motion to the left side, and then he's going to come back right, and he's going to block this guy right here, who's going to be the free blocker. They're going to let him go through for he can get him on the back end, right? So on this play, Robinson is supposed to get to the second level. He's supposed to chip this guy right here and then get to the second level and block 48. Let's watch how this goes down. So he misses the chip block. He misses 48, and 48 winds up making the tackle. It was a great job by the running back to get skinny through the hole. And if he would have blocked 48, he potentially could have got 10 to 15 yards easily on this play, because the next guy to tackle him was 31, who is out.
Did he throw him at... Multiple analysts have pointed out that Robinson appears to be blocking ghosts. That's not me saying that. That's the phrase that's gone viral across NFL social media. Cam Robinson is engaging with invisible defenders, using his hands and his footwork on air, while actual pass rushers are running completely unblocked directly at Shedeur Sanders. One Twitter user put it perfectly. Anthony Bradford and Daniel Follow combined. That is number 68 Cam Robinson for the Cleveland Browns. If you ever have a problem with ghosts in your house, don't call the Ghostbusters. Just call Cam Robinson. This brother is literally blocking ghosts all game long. The meme has taken off because it's true. When you watch the All-22 film, you see Robinson consistently engaging with the wrong defender, or with no defender at all, while Shedeur is getting hit from his blind side over and over again. And perhaps most tellingly, after these blown assignments, Robinson's body language tells its own story. He's not scrambling to make a recovery block. He's not desperately trying to help his quarterback. He's just standing there, looking at the carnage he's created, with an expression that fans have described as either defeated or satisfied, depending on which conspiracy theory you believe. Pro Football Focus, the premier analytics service for NFL performance evaluation, currently ranks the Cleveland Browns' offensive line as the worst in the entire league. And Cam Robinson, he's a significant reason why. Now, if this were just about Cam Robinson being bad at football, that would be one thing. NFL teams have bad players all the time. They get benched, they get cut, they get replaced. It's part of the business. But what's happening in Cleveland looks like something more coordinated than one underperforming lineman. Let me take you back exactly 1 week before this viral Cam Robinson footage exploded across the internet. John Bitonio, another member of Cleveland's offensive line and a veteran leader in that locker room, made a statement that raised eyebrows across the NFL community. "I'm going to do whatever it takes to help Kevin Stefanski keep his job," Bitonio said publicly. At first glance, that sounds like standard teammate loyalty, right? A veteran standing by his head coach during a difficult season. But when you understand the context of what Kevin Stefanski has done to Shedeur Sanders, that statement takes on a much darker meaning. Kevin Stefanski is the same head coach who refused to give Shedeur first-team reps when he arrived in Cleveland. The same coach who reportedly gave Shedeur the wrong play cards during actual games, setting him up to fail. The same coach who made the inexplicable decision to start Dillon Gabriel over Shedeur Sanders, despite the obvious talent gap between the two quarterbacks. And most importantly, Kevin Stefanski is the same coach who assembled this offensive line that's currently getting Shedeur destroyed on a weekly basis. So when John Bitonio says he'll do whatever it takes to help Stefanski keep his job, and then 1 week later Cam Robinson puts on what might be the worst performance by an NFL offensive lineman in recent memory, people are starting to connect dots that paint a very ugly picture. Is it possible that there are members of Cleveland's offensive line who believe that if Shedeur Sanders succeeds, Kevin Stefanski gets fired for initially refusing to play him?
Man, the sabotage of Shedeur Sanders continues. There's no way, especially with this injury to Quinshon Judkins, there's no way they could even fathom trying to take a quarterback next year. They need to get some offensive linemen in there. You got 2 picks in the first round. I was thinking, hey, you go get you an offensive lineman and get you a receiver. Maybe you get you a Carnell Tate and then get you an offensive lineman later in the first round. You might have to go get 2 offensive linemen in the first round, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you. I just gotta keep it real, man, because this is nasty work over here. This is some nasty work. Get down in the comments. Let me know what you think. This keep the vision.
And conversely, that if Shedeur fails, it validates Stefanski's original decision and keeps the coaching staff intact. It sounds like a conspiracy theory. It sounds paranoid. But when you watch the film, when you see Cam Robinson appearing to throw defenders at Shedeur, when you hear analysts saying it looks like he's playing for the other team, you have to ask yourself, at what point does a pattern of behavior stop being coincidence and start being coordination? The Cleveland Browns have a documented history of organizational dysfunction when it comes to quarterback development. They've cycled through more starting quarterbacks than any other franchise over the past 2 decades. They've ruined promising careers and wasted high draft picks. And now, with Shedeur Sanders, they have a quarterback who arrived with legitimate NFL pedigree, with elite college production, with the kind of mental toughness and leadership that franchise cornerstones are built on. And they're systematically failing to support him. Here's what makes this story even more remarkable. Despite everything working against him, despite an offensive line that appears to be sabotaging him, despite losing key weapons and having unreliable receivers, despite a coaching staff that didn't believe in him from day one, Shedeur Sanders is still performing. He's still making throws. He's still leading his team. He's still getting up after brutal hits and stepping right back into the pocket on the next play. Most rookie quarterbacks would have completely collapsed under this level of dysfunction. Most would be pointing fingers in press conferences, demanding trades, throwing public tantrums about the lack of support. But Shedeur, he just keeps grinding. When he lost Travis Hunter and other key receiving threats to injury or roster decisions, he adjusted. When Jerry Jeudy, supposedly Cleveland's #1 receiver, disappeared for entire games, Shedeur found other options. When the offensive line repeatedly failed to give him even 3 seconds to throw, he developed one of the quickest releases in the league out of pure survival instinct. Professional scouts and NFL analysts who have watched his tape are consistently impressed by the same qualities: his pocket presence, his poise under pressure, his ability to go through progressions quickly even while defenders are bearing down on him, his accuracy on the move, and his leadership in the huddle even when everything around him is chaos. This is what separates franchise quarterbacks from guys who wash out of the leg. It's not just the arm talent or the physical tools. The mental fortitude to perform when your own team seems to be working against you, and the fans see it. Social media has erupted in support of Shedeur, with thousands of fans calling out the sabotage.
That you want to see in the quarterback as well. I think, again, there's a game to where, he can look at the film and say, okay, I want some of these throws back. But I thought he did a good job of really just taking what the defense gave him. Jerry Jeudy, the wide receiver play, you look at the targets, it just wasn't there. Harold Fanning continues to show that he's an absolute beast.
Harold Fanning is a beast. Did Jerry Jeudy play in the game today, y'all? Jerry Jeudy, the one that got hands like a snake, did he play? I mean, God, Lee, he's supposed to be a #1 receiver, man. Like, get open, do something. Like,
facts. Demanding accountability from the coaching staff and praising Shedeur for his grace and professionalism in impossible circumstances. One viral tweet summed it up perfectly. Shedeur Sanders is out here fighting for his NFL career while his own offensive line is literally throwing defenders at him. If he survives this and becomes elite, Cleveland will have wasted it, just like they waste everything. The most damning evidence in this entire saga isn't coming from angry fans or conspiracy theorists on social media. It's coming from professional film analysts who have no agenda other than calling what they see on tape. Multiple film breakdown channels have dissected Cam Robinson's performance in excruciating detail, and their conclusions are remarkably consistent. On a play where the Browns ran misdirection with a tight end motioning left before coming back right to pick up a free rusher, Robinson was supposed to chip the defensive tackle and then climb to the second level to block the linebacker wearing number 48. Watch what actually happened. Robinson completely whiffed on the chip block, letting the defensive tackle run free into the backfield. Then he never made it to the second level, allowing number 48 to come downhill unblocked and make the tackle for a loss. The running back, to his credit, tried to get skinny through the hole and make something out of nothing. And if Robinson had executed even one of his 2 assignments, that play likely goes for 10 to 15 yards because the next defender in position to make a play was number 31, who was completely out of position. But Robinson failed both assignments, and another promising play died in the backfield. On another play, a designed outside run where Robinson was supposed to pull and help pick up the defensive end, he again whiffed completely. The defender made the tackle in the backfield, and Robinson was just standing there looking defeated, as if he couldn't believe what just happened. Except it keeps happening, week after week, play after play. The film analyst from 1K Takes said it best. A lot of people want the Cleveland Browns to get a new quarterback. They just drafted 2 quarterbacks this year. They don't need any quarterbacks. They need new offensive linemen to help their quarterbacks out, to maybe see if they have a chance to be good in the NFL. That's the truth that Cleveland's front office needs to hear. The Browns don't have a quarterback problem. They have an offensive line problem. And Cam Robinson is the biggest piece of that problem. After this footage went viral, after it was broken down on national television, after analysts started using words like sabotage and cheating for the other team, the Cleveland Browns are at a crossroads. They can no longer pretend this is just normal growing pains for a rookie quarterback. They can no longer chalk up Cam Robinson's performance to having a rough stretch. This is now the 4th or 5th consecutive week of the same behavior, the same missed assignments, the same suspicious plays. The Browns have 2 options and only 2 options. Option 1, Cam Robinson is simply the worst offensive lineman in the NFL right now, completely overmatched at this level, and needs to be benched immediately. If that's the case, you pull him from the starting lineup, you promote someone else, you bring in a street free agent, you do whatever it takes to upgrade the position because what you have now is actively hurting your team. Option 2, Cam Robinson is deliberately playing poorly, either to protect Kevin Stefanski's job security or for some other reason we don't fully understand, and he needs to be cut from the team entirely. If there's even a possibility that a player is sabotaging your franchise quarterback, you cannot allow that player to remain in your building. There is no middle ground here. You cannot have your starting left tackle appearing to throw defenders onto your quarterback and just issue a generic statement about needing to execute better. You cannot watch 5 weeks of film showing the same catastrophic failures and decide that more practice will fix it. This is about player safety now. Every time Cam Robinson fails an assignment and Shedeur takes a blind side hit, you're risking a career-altering injury to your franchise quarterback. Every time Robinson appears to redirect a pass rusher toward Shedeur instead of away from him, you're gambling with the future of your organization. Kevin Stefanski will likely stand at a podium and deliver exactly the kind of coach speak that fans have grown tired of hearing. We need to execute better. We're working on fundamentals. Everyone needs to be more physical. Generic platitudes that don't address the actual problem. But the film doesn't lie. The tape shows exactly what happened. And now that it's gone viral, now that millions of people have seen it and professional analysts have broken it down, Cleveland can't hide behind coach speak anymore. So let me bring this full circle and give you the truth that the Cleveland Browns don't want you to see. Shedeur Sanders is fighting a battle that no rookie quarterback should have to fight. He's not just competing against opposing defenses. He's competing against his own coaching staff, who didn't want to play him. He's competing against an offensive line that seems more interested in protecting Kevin Stefanski's job than protecting their quarterback. He's competing against a front office that's shown a consistent pattern of mismanaging quarterback talent. The viral footage of Cam Robinson isn't an anomaly. It's the most blatant example of something that's been happening for weeks. The missed blocks, the whiffed assignments, the standing around after plays instead of making recovery efforts, the body language that suggests either incompetence or something more sinister. Professional analysts are saying on national television that it looks like sabotage. Fans are creating viral memes about Robinson blocking ghosts while real defenders run free. Film breakdown experts are showing play after play where Robinson's failures aren't just mistakes, but patterns of behavior that raise serious questions. And through it all, Shedeur Sanders keeps getting up, keeps making throws, keeps leading his team, keeps showing the kind of mental toughness that separates franchise quarterbacks from guys who can't handle adversity. The Cleveland Browns have 2 first-round picks in the upcoming draft. They don't need another quarterback. They need to invest both of those picks in offensive linemen who will actually protect the franchise quarterback they already have. They need to make personnel decisions that prioritize Shedeur's development and safety over Kevin Stefanski's job security, because the truth is now documented. It's on film. It's been analyzed by experts. It's been seen by millions of fans. The sabotage is real, and Shedeur Sanders is done being quiet about it. The NFL world is watching Cleveland now, waiting to see if they'll do the right thing, if they'll protect their franchise quarterback, if they'll hold Cam Robinson accountable for what everyone can see on tape, or if they'll do what the Browns always do, make excuses, defend dysfunction, and waste another quarterback's potential. The footage is out there. The evidence is undeniable. The question now is what Cleveland does next. And based on their history, the entire NFL world is holding its breath, hoping they finally break the cycle and do right by a young quarterback who deserves so much better than what he's been given. This is the story of Shedeur Sanders versus the Cleveland Browns, and right now, against all odds, Shedeur is still standing.